We're here live with The Other Side Media. It's Jill Raycroft from the Belleville Chamber of Commerce with Josh and Jeremy Davis.
The Other Side Media Group and 91X now present The Other Side Radio Show, a program about people who make a difference from all walks of life in Quinte and beyond. And now here are your hosts, Jeremy and Joshua Davis.
Yes, well, welcome again to The Other Side Live. I'm Jeremy T. Davis, along with Joshua R. Davis, and it's our pleasure to have our friend Jill Raycroft back in the hot seat from the Belleville Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back to our show. It's great to have you here today. So, Jill, if I could first start out by asking you, can you remind our listeners what the mission of the Belleville Chamber of Commerce is for the people who don't know? Even though we've been around with you guys for a long time, we've been members since 2004, so we know, but our listeners out there might need a refresher.
The Belleville Chamber of Commerce celebrated 160 years this year, so it's a little bit older than you guys. And even a little bit older than me. Mm-hmm. And the ongoing mission for chambers of commerce and boards of trade across Canada, across the United States, across the world, have always been as an advocate for business. Our goal is to help our communities prosper through their businesses by connecting and representing and sharing. And we have strived to continue to do this in the last 8 years that I've been with the Belleville Chamber of Commerce.
Now, Jill, when you first were on the other side, you came on our program the very first time you were a mayoral candidate. And people were just, getting to know you better in the world of civic affairs, if I might coin it that way. So was becoming Chief Executive Officer of the Belleville Chamber something you always envisioned, or did life happen and it just took you in that direction, and that's where you are today and enjoying every minute of it?
I would say that's exactly what happened, and it was an extremely positive outcome to the campaign for mayor. And you pointed out really well that it was my first introduction to civic affairs, and I wanted to find a way to serve our community through a series of random events that kind of together seemed like I needed to make a change, led me to following through with a suggestion from a friend. And at the end of the day, I was hoping that somewhere, someplace, I would get a job. And that's where I ended up.
Now, Jill, if I may ask you this question, what defines good leadership as the CEO at the Chamber of Commerce for you?
So if I told you that I did a career assessment one time and they said, your habits closely resemble that of a CEO, does that count?
Well, it could, yes.
The title is one thing, but more importantly is the opportunity I get to work with the community, and and we're a nonprofit organization, so I have all of the benefits of being part of a organization that helps, but I get to do it with the business community, which is another thing I'm passionate about.
Wonderful.
So for me, it was a perfect fit.
You're a team player, and just like Jeremy and me, when we do our media events with the Other Side Media Group, for the last couple of years, it's been quite hard with the pandemic. We had to sort of pivot and do things differently for quite a while, do functions on Zoom. And could you tell us how that sort of changed the Chamber's events.
So it gave us a really great opportunity to explore technology. It gave us a great opportunity to try a lot of different things. We moved forward with the expectation that things might not work, but it was always worth the effort. And we transformed some of our practices as a result. We now continue to have all of our board and committee meetings by Zoom, and it really facilitates the business leaders that we have.
Is it kind of easier or harder, in your opinion?
That part has been easier and less expensive.
Yes, and Zoom and other platforms such as MS Teams and other companies will always now have a formidable place in the business community, in industry. I do want to say, in my personal opinion, there's nothing like the actual human connection, though, because let's face it, we all get screen fatigue, and as we're trying to build and shape the fabric of the communities from whatever sector of the business or service or nonprofit, part of the community or the society we are from. By coming together, there is a certain energy that you get that you can't get the other way. But I think all these tools can complement one another. And one of the reasons why we wanted to have you on the other side live here today at the beautiful new Starbucks on the patio, that's hard to believe. We're late October when this will originally air, and we're still out here on the patio and enjoying this. We could enjoy this all year. But it is Small Business Week in Ontario, and we never want to miss an opportunity to salute the men, the women, and our small business community who help shape who we are, also the fabric of the community, but is a very fundamental, important component of our local economy. Small business makes up a large percentage. I don't have the percentages. 99.1 right here. Thank you, Jill. I didn't have my computer in front of me. Just tell us a little bit about how we're saluting small business this year, this week. But it's important to realize, yes, this is the week, but we should be honoring and saluting and helping these small businesses 365 days of the year.
So a couple of the things that we are doing this week, we started on Monday with a kickoff, and this was sponsored and supported by the Business Development Bank of Canada. So BDC celebrates their 80th anniversary this year, and this is, I believe, the 40th or 45th year for Small Business Week. And it's not just Ontario, but it's all across Canada. So it's a pretty impactful week.
I thought the Canadian week was another week. That's what I meant. So they're both celebrated at the same time.
They are. And now I think there's also an International Business Week, and I think the U.S. might do it a different week.
Okay.
But so yeah, you're not completely off there. But we are definitely, and all of the chambers across Canada were together last week for a conference and talking about our work with advocacy, and then rolling right into this week. So today we're a couple of sessions being held and supported by the Quinte West Chamber of Commerce around human resources and how you can engage your employees, and then also how to empower women. Tomorrow we have a Not a Trade Show Business Expo, which is, it's a round of, so there are 10 businesses, or 7 to 10 businesses, who will give 3 minutes each, and then we do a little networking break, and we start a new round every hour, and then it concludes with a mega mingle at Loyalist College. And then Thursday we have a breakfast. So the Not a Trade Show is being hosted at Loyalist, and then the mingle is also there. So if someone wants to come for the day, they can stay, or they can drop in as they like. And then Thursday, we have a breakfast in the morning supported by the cooperators, and they're bringing in a very good speaker who will talk about the most, I don't know how you make death and taxes sound exciting, but apparently he can. So it's about estate planning, taxes and estate planning for business. And then
mark your calendar.
There you go. And then Thursday evening, Prince Edward County is hosting an event at Base 31, and it's also going to talk about succession planning. And finally, on Friday, we have our roundtable Zoom virtual session with the MP Ryan Williams and MPP Tyler Alsop. And Friday evening, it all wraps up with the Quinte Business Achievement Awards.
Yes, which we were honored to be nominated for the Business Achievement Awards in 2008, I do believe.
Yes, we were honored and delighted to be nominated by our fellow community members for the work that we do in the nonprofit sector for the Other Side Media Group. In 2008, we didn't win, but it's a prestigious honor to be nominated amongst your peers, and so that was wonderful. And then later on, we did win the Canada 150 medal, and our then former MP, now the current mayor, again, Mayor Neil Ellis, presented that to us. So, but it's just a great way to.
And we also did a couple years back. Our friend just reminded me, we were the first ones to have the Quinte's Authors Expo at the Best Western, and we had numerous authors and writers there, and so we did that too.
So many different great memories, and as I was saying, so the Quinte Business Achievement Awards is a great way to cap off this week of celebration, as you said, not only here in Ontario, but all of Canada. As I said, I thought they were just 2 different weeks. My apologies. It brings community together, celebrates achievement, not only with the winners, but those nominated and because everyone is working to make a difference. But before we move on, what is perhaps your most favorite part of Small Business Week?
Each year we look for the event that's going to help connect our business community to each other. And I will say the Not a Trade Show has been the ringer for us. It's something that can bring as many people together as possible in a very short period of time. We record those sessions so people can watch them later. And the diversity of the business leaders and small business owners that come together for that is really phenomenal. You can watch it on our YouTube channel at Belleville Chamber of Commerce.
Good plug there.
But I will also say that it's to your point about the nomination. And I was speaking to somebody last night. She said, I work for McDougall, so when I'm nominated as Business Person of the Year, does that mean they mean me, or does it mean they mean McDougall Insurance as an organization? And I said, it's always hard because the people who nominate you are anonymous. Like, we don't know who does the nomination. But for whomever has put your name forward, you are the epitome of achievement. So the nomination means that for at least one person, you symbolized achievement in that sector. So that's why the nominations are so important.
And let's face it, Jill, in today's day and age, we all, no matter what walk of life we are from, no matter what we have achieved in this life, we all do need or deserve those reminders. It's not just about a pat on the back, but it helps to build us up and helps to identify everyone's self-worth. And without everyone contributing, without everyone following their dream and doing what they can to make this community what it is, we just wouldn't be able to achieve our goals of that. And so I want to commend everyone on it.
So some of the events that are coming up are biggies in our community. We have the Santa Claus Parade, the annual Christmas tradition that will be coming up on Sunday, November 17th. And can you tell us about that?
So we filed the parade permit with City Council a couple weeks ago. I think it went on the 15th. I think I was in Halifax that night. But
I saw that.
Yes, I was in Halifax when it happened. So we had exactly. So we had that, and now the parade registrations, the float registrations have opened, and we are getting a number of our returning favorites back, and we have a number of new ones who are so interested, people who have thought about it for the last couple of years and are finally ready to put it all together. So it should be a great parade. Again, we'll start at 4:30 down by the fairgrounds and work our way across Bridge Street to the Bayview Mall.
We just celebrated in the beautiful city of Belleville. We celebrated the Diwali festival with our friends, the India community. So can you tell us about that?
So that's an event that we have been involved with for the past couple of years, but this year it was brought back to the committee. And so they've actually taken the event over. So with support from the downtown district, we really weren't involved this year. We have passed on the decorations, we passed on the diyas, and the Indian community is now going to be able to support that celebration themselves, and that's a wonderful thing.
Well, it's just great to be able to lend a hand when approached and ask, and then help foster it, and then see where it goes. And as they said over the weekend, that technically is their kickoff of the festival season and Festival of Lights, and then which brings me to ours as well. On November the 15th, the city of Belleville will be having their annual Festival of Lights celebration. Jane Forster Park, 5 o'clock, I believe. I believe there's all kinds of things going on. The lights, it's the display that was originally started by the Fosters and then has been added to over the years. Also that night, I might just put this plug in there too, and we'll have him on as well. After you have come from the city's Festival of Lights lighting display and the music and that, be sure to go on down to 89 South John Street, and it's the kickoff night for the Rushlow family Christmas display in memory of their son. It's about working together and fostering the Christmas spirit, and so there's lots of festive fun and so much more. Maybe you just want to comment on some of the city's Festival of Lights, and we'll go from there.
Again, that is a initiative that the city takes care of completely. They have a light committee, I believe, and so they will coordinate all of those around kind of the kickoff to the Christmas season. And in partnership, we have the Santa Claus Parade. They do the big lighting on the Friday. I think Santa arrives at the mall on Saturday, and then we bring him down to the parade on Sunday.
Have you got your letters there, Jill? Yes, I do. I know you've been good all year. Now, going forward, with the Belleville Chamber of Commerce organization, what would you like to see expand in the future? One of our most popular programs, I can remember, as I said, we've been members since 2004 and take great pride in it in our community and want to do so much more, and that, so stay tuned. I can remember mentioning about, I always loved the breakfasts, but in this busy world, not everyone can get to the breakfast. So I remembered we used to have a former member on the board, Bill Jansen, I believe. And I believe I remember a conversation I had, and I suggested we need to maybe come up with another informal way to connect. And so the business mingles were born shortly thereafter. After we were talking about it, everybody involved thought it would be a good way of being able to showcase individual host businesses per month. So we love that. What other ways do you want to expand to reach out, to connect even more people, and not only the business community, service community, our members at large, but the community as a whole?
So we, as a board, have been talking a lot about what it is the Chamber is meant to do going forward. We had to apply for a re-accreditation this year, and part of that process is to go through a strategic planning exercise. And we talked a lot about whether or not the Belleville Chamber of Commerce is what we call a 3C chamber or a 3P chamber. And a 3P chamber is parties, pageants, and parades, which people could say we do. But there's also the 3C chamber where you're a champion, you're a convener, and you're a catalyst. So we look at how each of the events we do focus on one of those 3 C's. So our mingles are an opportunity to convene. And when we meet together and connect together, that's how we become connected to the issues that impact small businesses. We build the relationships so business owners and not-for-profit organizations can trust us with their problems, and we can advocate on their behalf. So that's part of it. I'd love to see us do more around supporting children, families, parents connecting to career choices with what I call the hidden job market in Belleville. Everybody thinks that, there are 3 places to work: Procter & Gamble, Starbucks, and Tim Hortons. Yeah. But there's so much more. And with nearly 500 members in the Belleville Chamber and representing multiple sectors, we see that every day. Yeah. So would love to make that. That's why Not a Trade Show is so important.
Now, in your opinion, Jill, I'd like to ask you this question, and I'm not at all biased, but I just like to know, do you find that our city of Belleville is more accessible today than, say, 20 years ago for people in wheelchairs or not?
I think that's probably you who can answer that question better than I can. There's certainly a lot of legislation geared to supporting businesses to become more accessible.
Are we going forward, or do you think we're going backwards?
Well, let's hope we're going forward, but are we where we need to be?
Yeah.
One of the sessions, and when you ask me what else we want to do, we want to start having more conversations with applying some of that legislation into practice. And we're hosting a session on Friday, November 1st, right after so October happens to be Employment with Disabilities Month, and supported by ODIN, the Ontario Disability Employment Network. But our session on that Friday, will be to talk about the different skill sets and the different opportunities and what accommodation actually looks like. So,
And
wheelchairs are one, but then there are other things too.
Talk about sensitivity training.
Yes, so those are all going to be part of that conversation on that Friday, where the agencies who help support people looking for employment will actually come together and give us an example of somebody with their resume. We won't have the person in the room, but then the people around the table will be able to talk a little bit about how they think that person needs to be supported.
Well, this has been a fascinating conversation. As I said, always so much to say, so little time. So let's have you back again really soon. We hope you'll come back really soon anyway. No, it truly is our pleasure and our honor to know you, to call you our friend, and to work with you. Any way we can through our Other Side Media Group, and be members of the Belleville District Chamber of Commerce. We're proud members, and we look forward to continuing. And we've got our festive event coming up on December 20th at the Smokin' 116 Bistro. More on that later, and so hopefully we can partner up with you guys too on that one too. So anyway, you take care. If people want to learn more information about what's going on with the Belleville Chamber of Commerce, can you tell them how they can do so, and the website and such?
So you can find us on our website at belvillechamber.ca, through Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. I can't say we're great at all of them, but definitely we are working on that part.
Don't underestimate your talent. For now, this has been The Other Side Live, on location at Starbucks Patio for Small Business Week 2024, and everything with the Belleville Chamber of Commerce. I'm Jeremy Davis.
I'm Joshua Davis, and we'll see you again real soon.
God bless.
The Other Side Radio Show is a production of the Other Side Media Group in association with 91X. Copyright 2020, all rights reserved. Connect on Facebook at The Other Side Media Group, Instagram at Jeremy Tyler Davis, or on YouTube at Jeremy T. Davis, Belleville, Ontario, for on-demand episodes and more. Tune in next time for another great episode of The Other Side Radio Show.